Hey everyone, I'm Mary Beth McAndrews from Dread Central, and I am here with Kim Coates, one of the stars of the new film Neon Lights. Hi, Kim. How are you?
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's lovely to chat with you. And my first question for you is what drew you to the script for Neon Lights and being in this film?
Yeah, well, it was back in 2020 when the pandemic started. No one knew, no,
10, 20 years ago at this point. Like,
no
none of
one,
us.
no one knew what the hell was going on. We still don't really, but no one knew what the hell was happening. And that was at that March, April, May film business done. Everything's done. And around August, September in Canada, I'm Canadian and American, Canadian proud more these days, but anyway, that's another conversation. But honestly, when this script came onto my desk in like August, September of 2020, I had to read it 3 times. Like I didn't understand it. I didn't know what was going on.
Okay.
I was confused. And that's on purpose because Dana Abraham, who wrote it and starred in it, he knew exactly what he was doing. And so when I found out they offered the psychiatrist to my daughter Brenna, and then Denver came to me. They needed a bit of a name, so they got Kim Coates to say yes, and I produced it as well. It was a no-brainer to figure out who this Denver Kane guy was, then to find out how Dana and Ruzbe Hidari, the director, wanted to shoot this thing because it's about mental health. I don't care what you say about this movie. It is. I don't know how you felt, but for
Oh,
me,
yeah.
don't you think, Mary? I mean, for me, it is very Hitchcockian. It's very psychological
Mhm.
thriller. There's some
Yeah.
horror in there. It's weird and wacky and slow and then fast. The characters are great. The house, the estate is its own character in a way. You don't know what
Yeah.
the hell's happening, but really it's about mental health. And there's no better time than then when we shot it and today when it's coming out to talk about mental health because it should be in the front of all of our conversations.
Oh, yeah. 100%. And so you talked about Dana Abrahams, and you have a lot of scenes with them. What is that like working with them in these, like, especially very like emotionally intense moments throughout the film?
Yeah, I mean, I just got to watch Dana work. I mean, he wrote
Yeah.
this thing. And so, for me, I got to know who Denver was through reading a couple of books on early
Hmm.
trauma, on early abuse.
Hmm.
Because I came from, I'm a beautiful family. My mom and dad are beautiful people. My dad's gone now, but my mom is still alive. And my two little brothers, I mean, we're playing hockey, Saskatoon kids, Saskatchewan. So I came from a beautiful household. This is a very complicated, dark household that
Yeah.
that Clay Armani, played by Dana, comes from. And so I read a couple of books, and Brenna did all her research, and Dana and Ruth Bay were completely doing. They did all their research on mental health and what this character of Dana was playing was going through. So for me to act with Dana was just easy because I just watched and
That's
listened,
so cool.
and he listened and watched and was fearful. And I mean, again, I can't talk about my character that much because it's a surprise. He's kind of a surprise, my character, and he's really
Hmm.
intertwined through the whole movie. And still at the end of the movie, you don't know what he was, what. So without giving anything away, I can't wait for people to see this project. I really can't.
Yeah, it's exactly how you describe. Like, wait, what's happening? Wait, what? They're very
Right?
much very twist and turn. Like, who are you really? And
Right?
it is really
Right.
interesting to watch that unfold, especially. And like the chemistry again between you and Dana, especially. Like it's creepy and it's scary, and it's
Good.
exciting to watch
Yeah, no, good. And
together.
and again, we shot this in 15 days. Isn't that amazing? The whole thing in
I'm
15
always
days.
so surprised how quick, like how fast things are shot, especially in movies. Like it is always just so shocking and surprising how quickly
Well,
things
certain
can come
movies,
together. Well,
like Black Hawk Down took us 6.5 months, and it had a
no,
lot more money
that's
involved. Yeah, that's a whole different kettle of fish.
indie
But this
horror, I
little
guess. Is
this little minnow called Neon Lights, 15 days, baby, and that's a lot of film up on that screen for 15 days.
yeah. Oh, yeah. So you've been in so many movies and shows. Are you a horror person yourself? Are you a genre fan?
I'm not a horror guy.
Okay.
I've done horror, obviously. I've
Yeah.
done thriller, obviously. I played the odd vampire for sure. But I'm not Like, I don't know much about horror. I really don't. So to be offered these kind of thrillers slash horrors, and if the script is good like this one was, it's a joy for me to watch. And it's even
Hell yeah.
better for me to see the final product with all the music and the CGI and all that shit tossed in at the end. You know, you're a pro at all that stuff. I love seeing the finished product, Mary.
Okay, cool. I was just wondering, like, what was the first horror movie you ever saw? Like, did you watch them as a kid ever? Like, was there a movie that you saw as a kid that really scared you though? At
Yeah,
least?
my dad. I mean, I'm old. My dad, you know, I was born in 1958, and when I was like 4 or 5, there was this black and white horror night, and I remember the you know the Phantom and Dracula and the werewolf and then Hunchback of Notre Dame. And my dad, I was the oldest in the family. My two little brothers were too small, and he grabbed me, and then he would start doing the shadow voice. The shadow, no. I go, Dad, you're scaring the shit out of me. I'm 4 years old. For fuck's sake, Dad. Anyway.
Okay, so like, you and horror have this very strange relationship.
we have we have a strange relationship from a very young age as a boy. Yeah.
So you've played again a lot of characters, but like in this movie, and you play a scary character, to put it in a very like kind of baseline way. What is that like for you to kind of get into that mindset to play a character who is scary, threatening, a bad guy, to put it simply?
This guy is quite different from anyone I've played before
Yeah.
because he is very charismatic. He's very well put together.
Hmm.
He's very soothing. His voice is soothing. There should be something about this man that draws you in, that draws you in. Because if it was all on this side of the railroad tracks, then I wouldn't say I wouldn't want to do this guy. There's got to be different elements of every monster. When you find out things about this human being, male or female, that makes you so upset, or you learn from the badness in them. They can't just be bad. They're just boring to watch. There's nothing there. So for me, I needed to find the colors of Denver, the colors of why this boy, played by Dana Abraham, Clay Armani, why he became so successful. What was it, part of his early teenage livelihood, that made him so smart, a tech genius and successful? And then why did he turn against his father? Why did I turn, like those things, they come out in the movie. But yeah, no, it was fun for me to figure out all the different emotions. And I don't plan anything, Mary. I don't plan screaming or being quiet or crying or not. It's all on the moment. It's all in the
Okay.
moment. And so Dana and I trust each other 100% of the time. And I think you can really see that in the film, you know?
Oh, for sure. And then my last question for you is, what is your favorite moment or scene in this movie that you're really excited for people to see?
Oh boy, that's a tough one. I'm not sure I have a favorite moment, but
Okay.
I will say that the last 10, 12 minutes of this movie, you better have your seatbelt on. You better have peed before that, because everything evolves and unravels at such a pace, and
Oh
such
yeah.
a frenetic pace, and a violent pace, and a mental health, oh no, kind of pace, that by the
Yeah.
end of the movie, I'm not going to give anything away, we think the doves are going to be flying, right? Everything's going to be okay. And we're going to leave it at that.
Perfect. Well, everyone, Neon Lights, check it out. Kim, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me
Thanks for being
today.
there, Mary. Love you, baby. You take care of yourself, all right?